The man whose shirt I was trapped in at the moment sat very still, but I figured he was trying to sleep, so I jumped around the cabin. I jumped to the cover of the Sexiest Man Alive issue of People magazine, to an old back cover ad for Twilight, and others. As I popped in and out of printed eyes among the other passengers, shirts, jackets, reading materials, I was searching for conversations or evidence about where the people were heading. There wasn't much to hear. People were tired, and like most people, would have chosen any other flight than a red-eye if they had a choice. One of those I percolated to was a woman reading Stephanie Meyer's The Host. I found myself wishing the alien on the cover had two eyes, or at least the woman reading the novel had a shirt with eyes so I could enjoy the read with her. It would have been nice to escape from my predicament for a while. Next to the woman reading The Host was another passenger reading a novel with the intriguing title, Lend Me Your Mind. The novel had a beautiful woman on the front with wild blue hair, one arm extended. I had just transferred to that pair of eyes when I noticed the lights were going out around the cabin and figured I'd better find a way to jump back to the guy with Mickey Mouse because I at least knew where Emma and her parents were heading. I glanced over as the woman tipped the book at just the right angle and found the man wearing Mickey was finishing a large bottle of water and staring at the two reading women. He looked frustrated and angry. I knew how he felt. I wish there was a way to tell him there were worse things than inconsiderate people on board a red-eye that was only going to last a few hours. I knew I could count on Emma popping up at some point. There was no way with a nap and 2 sources of caffeine she was going to go to sleep any time soon. Her parents already looked haggard, and hopefully they would bag a few winks of sleep. With a firm reminder that I knew where they were going, and that at the end of the flight I would be hundreds of miles closer, I jumped when the guy wearing Mickey stretched, revealing the famous mouse's eyes. Once he finished stretching, he reached in the bag next to him and pulled out another bottle of water and a small laptop, opening it. It asked for a password, and my curiosity compelled me to look. Call it boredom or even nosiness. I watched as he typed Zeit zu gehen. This was German for time to go. I had taken 2 years of German in high school, and this was the first time it had done me one bit of good. I was actually proud of myself for remembering enough to recognize the meaning. I had surrendered German classes when the guy I liked, the reason for taking German in the first place, started to date one of my friends. My teacher had pleaded with me to continue, as his aide. Though flattered, I had lost heart and refused, transferring to my one and only class of French. I had figured back then that at least I could learn a romantic language if I were doomed to a life without romance. The screen took the stranger to his email, and I forgot all respect for his privacy and boundaries as my interest perked. He had no personalization on his desktop, just 3 icons, 2 labeled in German and 1 in French. The French one was for email. He clicked on his email, glancing around the cabin and once more looking annoyed with the women that were still reading. I could have told him to chill. They were so involved with their books, they wouldn't have noticed if he stripped naked and ran to the cockpit. To my surprise, he began typing in German, not French. He did not put a greeting on the email, something I noticed because I'm the employer of 6 workers who were all taught to do so. According to my shaky German, he'd been to San Francisco, and like the rest of us, he was on his way to Salt Lake City. I missed a lot because he was a fast typist and my German was rusty. I managed to decipher 6 cities. I deducted that he was going to be traveling a long time because, according to the email, he still had Denver, Chicago, Boston, and New York, but he had also written unter, which was under, but I didn't know the second word. I caught the word's time perfectly. His cell phone flashed and he began texting while I read the email message. In the interest of time, I stopped trying to decipher it word for word. I just let my eyes wander until they saw a word I knew. Explosive, device, meeting, tomorrow, locker, and the finale which made all the other words come together. They all die.